networking in new ways, learning different forms of business, and what it means to make transactions, and maybe that would influence them offline. Maybe it wouldn't, but that would be more full of representation of the Luddites life, really extending its life, not separating from it. Let's look at the flip side, the Philly Jim, the reporter. Again, the idea that it's a joke to be a reporter in Second Life, there are many reporters in Second Life, and only to show a few. Hamlin Al from New World Notes, Walker Space in Second Life Herald, and Kate Congo. These people not only write about things in Second Life, but we even have books in the real world, right? So what would it mean if Philly Jim had also been living the Luddites life? If he was actually getting to do things in Second Life, to report, maybe about sport-type activities, and that would change the way he thought about himself and his work possibilities. These are things that we know happen all the time. Originally, when I saw this episode of Second Life, of The Office talking about Second Life, especially after the CSI episode, I thought, wow, they got it. They really got it. Now when I'm thinking about the way that they only see a clear line between play and life, I realize actually they don't get it at all. The Luddites life is completely missing. In retrospect, I experienced the Luddites life during the first Team Second Life workshop we ran in December 2006. We did a workshop where you had to kind of stand for what they believed on platforms. However, when we went to Second Life, we thought it would be fun to, because you could in Second Life, stick it in the sky. We made a platform in the sky. So what happened? Everyone started falling off. We kept insisting to keep it up in the sky because we were bringing what we knew. The rest worked, right? But as the people kept falling off, the teams built a dome underneath to catch those that were falling, and then they built a dome above to prevent all the creepers from coming in. We also learned about the affordances around identity play. They quickly forced us to change the name of the activity, right? From human barometer to avatar barometer, because that's what they were. They were more than just humans, right? So as we grew more involved with Second Life, we learned more and more of the educational affordances presented by this new world. We have been and continue to be amazed by the diversity of these affordances. But previously, we saw them extinct from one another. However, now, after Zimmerman, I now see that many of the seemingly unconnected educational affordances of Second Life were actually all connected to what I now understand as the Luddites life. The ability to bring one's full self into the social arena, yet include Luddites sensibilities and activities all at the same time. As we have come to better understand how to leverage these unique affordances, the Luddites life components have become more prominent in our programs. I'd like to provide 3 examples from our work, but before I do, I'd like to offer a framework for analyzing each one. And again, we'll use Ryan as an example. First, we have the example of what Ryan did not do. What would have been to pretend to be a woman and only represent himself as such. This could have been seen as pure role play, pure work. On the other side, we have what Ryan originally did, presenting himself in Second Life as he is, as a man. This could be seen as pure life. Finally, we have his avatar portrait, in which he presents himself as a female, but doesn't hide his maleness. This is smack dab in the middle of the Luddites life. And when we add numbers to it, we can use this to evaluate and locate other projects from 1 to 5. So, for the first example, let's talk about our event earlier this year with Professor Henry Jenkins from MIT. And rather than explain it, I'll just show you some of the videos. Give a round of applause and shout out some whoops, and welcome Henry Jenkins, Professor Dumbledore, to our Harry Potter party.
Happy to be here.
You know, yeah. Oh, very good.
I think virtual worlds are one of the most exciting developments in digital culture in recent memory, and I have been spending a lot of time thinking about and looking at virtual worlds. I think I'm definitely excited by what little kids can see and do with virtual worlds.
Thank you, Henry. So with that, let's get back down to the dance floor. We'll dance to some Wizard Rock song, and we'll come back and we'll talk with Henry about social justice and Harry Potter.
You know the magic words that you need to say. Music comes from the record you intend to play. Put on your
Lord Carolina.
I'll do the trick. Yeah.
So Henry was able to step into the very subject of the talk, Harry Potter fandom. Now, we could have simply streamed in and talked about Henry, talking about the subject in which he talked about Harry Potter fandom, described the Wizard Rock, and so forth. And that would have put it all the way in the light side, right? Or inversely, one can imagine a Harry Potter virtual world that we would someday, in which teens pretend to be characters from Rowling stories and go to a Wizard Rock nightclub. That would be pure Ludic. But something different happened, right? Second Life allowed us to combine real life, a professor appearing as a professor, addressed in a real-world subject, with an audience that, through their preparations, became proof of its very thesis, right? At the same time, the play elements. Henry as Dumbledore, meeting in a Harry Potter set designed for the talk, for teams who created the set, the avatars and outfits and the props, to dance to fan music about Harry Potter. So where does that put the Harry Potter dance party of good and evil? Right smack in the middle, in the Little Life. A second event was also a presenter in Second Life, but the way in which it was done was quite different. The subject was Luis Moreno-Ocampo, the chief prosecutor of the International Film Report, speaking about his work. We controlled an avatar with his likeness before a virtual podium in an open-air amphitheater, projecting the scene onto a wall he could watch. But it was essentially just piped-in audio. So I put that somewhere on number 4, somewhere between Little Life and Life. On the other hand, we just finished our Science and Second Life class, a high school freshman level science class that met 5 days a week. It used Second Life as the central but not exclusive source for both learning material and demonstrating the knowledge learned. We'll watch a brief video describing one 2-week segment.
After looking at the topic of sustainability in their own home, our student scientists have found themselves working as researchers, solving problems farther from home in Naples, Italy. As research teams, they've explored a Second Life version of Naples. They've learned the viewpoints of different citizens through interviewing chatbots, responded to interactive objects and rich web-based media that's informed them of the complex, real-life, solid waste problems the real Naples, Italy is currently facing.
I have more, but for time I'm going to move on. All of our videos are available online at youtube.com/holymeatballs. That's H-O-L-Y. Here's a quote from one of the students in the class. I was looking for this to see if the students also get it from our perspective. It's a way to combine games with their life. This is from Ernesto. It was really fun. I enjoyed building a solar hybrid car in TSL for my project, and I enjoyed making a billboard. I would recommend this style of learning for any subject because it keeps us, students, pushing because we're using a game for learning. But this style of learning is not just untraditional, it is subversive. And understanding why is essential for understanding why Second Life can or can't fit. So what does this idea of Ludic Life have to do with my insertion of Second Life? Well, I referenced earlier that Thomas Malaby asserted that the gameness of life has usually been forced into the background, but is nowadays increasingly coming into the foreground. If this is true, and the Ludic Life is part of the background, shifting into the foreground, such a process will always be disruptive, as norms and power centers will resist such change. Minstrelsy and drag all potentially play both a controversial and subversive role in society. Controversial, as it puts attention on and often perpetuates racist and sexist imagery. Subversive, as it plays with the dissonance or tension between things previously ascribed to be immutable and distinct, white from black, male from female. That is, one experiences Mercury not as a black female, but as a white Hispanic male presenting as a black female, forcing us to confront that dissonance.